Quesenberry here with Christmas Light Contractors, and tonight we have a very fun topic. A topic that's very near and dear to my heart, and we're going to be talking about how 6 figures in a lighting business in 5 weeks. So, in all honesty, one of our a very good training companies that's in this area, one of our quote unquote competitors, came out with an awesome catchphrase. They said 6 figures in 6 weeks. And I thought that was awesome. So I'm kind of tipping my hat to them tonight and poking fun at it a little tiny bit and saying, hey, you can do it in 5. In all honesty, you can do it a lot quicker than that. You can do it in 2 days. I'm literally working on a commercial quote right now where the labor is $50,000 for 1 day's worth of install. So it can be done a lot quicker, but that's not what we're focusing on tonight. I want to take it from the standpoint of a year 1, year 2, maybe a year 3 business. If you're trying to get the 6 figures or you've never hit that mark before or you're brand new, that's really what I'm about. You're probably not going to be doing 6-figure commercial installs year 1. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and tell you the 10 points. But if you will bear with me, I am going to bring up the chat. That's a private chat, so I want to be able to see everybody's messages as they're coming in. Watching and connecting. Hey, Caitlin, can you hear me all right? Can you hear me? Can you see me? All right. I think everything's going right. Let's see. Make sure. Yes, sounds good. Awesome. Well, I got this new fancy microphone, and I'm excited about that. Okay, very cool. So the video people can edit out that part right there. Just a disclaimer, not everyone will make 6 figures in 5 weeks. Yeah, duh. All right, that is my business partner, Fred. Fred is awesome. Yeah, you know, one thing that we definitely want to point out is that nobody can make you successful, right? And what we can do is give you the tools. We can give you the tools, but nobody's guaranteed success. I know guys that spent, quite honestly, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in marketing last year and didn't do $30,000 worth of installs. So with that, I mean, you do have a lot of resources at Christmas. You can watch our YouTube. You can join our Facebook group. Quite honestly, you can reach out to me or Fred or Tyler or Caitlin. You can reach out to any of us directly, and we'll do everything in our power to help you. Or you could come to some of our in-person training. If you're like me and you're like a hands-on type learner, you can come to one of our in-person trainings. We're putting on a bunch of them this year. You just go to clclighttraining.com and pick a date that's near you. So, but without further ado, I want to give you the 10 talking points that I'm going to go over in the next 50 minutes. All right. The first one is register your business with the state. And I'm going to go ahead and say, get all the logistics, get all the back end business stuff taken care of, get your workers' comp, get your general liability, get all of your business stuff taken care of, and just check that box. It used to be not as important, but right now, my number one source of getting new leads is through Google, and Google is cracking down on it. So that's why I'm going to tell you, if you're watching this video earlier in the year, go ahead and get everything legitimized with the state, with your insurance, everything else, so that it's ready to go come season, and that you can take advantage of some of the free marketing sources out there like Google. And the next one is register with Google, register with Facebook. Go ahead and anywhere that you can register your business, go ahead and do that. All right. 3, marketing materials. So you have your business name, okay? You're going to have your social media and your listings and everything else. You need to go ahead and get your marketing materials. That's signs, flyers, business cards, website, vehicle branding, everything like that. Go ahead and get your marketing materials ready. 4 is organic outreach. I'm going to spend quite a bit of time talking about this evening because I think that it's, quite honestly, organic seems to be the most effective. Even when you're a big business, I wouldn't consider myself a big company, but word of mouth and that organic outreach is my number one source of new leads. And those jobs, I have a much higher closing rate than any of my paid advertising sources. All right. Next step, number 5 is paid advertising. Go ahead and start that in October. If you're year 1, maybe you don't even start that until November. You got to get your name out there a little tiny bit. But and if you're maybe after 3 years in business, maybe you can start that in September if you have a little bit more, a little bit bigger advertising budget. 6 is go ahead and sell and close your first job, right? So this obviously pertains to folks who it's their very first year in business, but go ahead and sell that first job. That probably, in all honesty, won't happen until sometime in November, maybe late October, if it's your first year in business. All right. Then you're going to install your first job. In order to do that, you got to have a lot of things lined up, like equipment and materials and know-how and labor and stuff like that. So go ahead and install your first job is number 7. 8 is hiring your first employees. So maybe year 1, you're not going to hire anybody. You're going to do it all yourself. You're going to quote everybody, call everybody, show up on every job, put every light bulb up, do every touch up yourself, and do all the takedown and storage in maybe your garage, right? So that maybe that one won't pertain to you, but it's definitely something that you should be working towards for year 3, where if you're really going to grow, you can't do it alone. All right. All right. Number 9 is work on making everything more efficient. That's the quoting process. That's the install process, the takedown. Work on making everything more efficient. And then number 10, a big topic is prep for next year, right? When you take down your last light bulb, don't take a break, right? There's a lot of things that you can do leading up to that so that your business flows into following years and that you get a high return rate. So don't turn off your business when the last light bulb comes down. You want to prep for the next season. So with that, guys, is we got a few people watching now. A few folks have jumped on. If you guys got any questions, go ahead and put in the comment section down below, and I will answer those when I get done talking, which might be a while from now. I do tend to ramble a bit. Okay, the first one, number 1, all right, register your business with the state. What does that mean? It means that you need to pick out a business name. My personal install business, I wish I had a business card or yeah, I don't have anything real close here. But my personal business name is NC Christmas Lights, okay? Obviously, we install Christmas lights. I'm not trying to advertise for wedding lighting for the rest of the year. I'm not advertising landscape lighting or anything else. Like, I picked a name that's going to, my customers know exactly the service that we are offering. We install Christmas lights. And guess what? Yes, I do Ramadan, I do Hanukkah and Halloween and a lot of other things. And we do some events, and we do weddings and engagement parties, and we have some rental type stuff for the rest of the year. So we do a little bit of that. But you know what? 95% of the business is Christmas lights in the Christmas season. And I made the decision that I'm not trying to like build this company up to $1 billion and it stretch across the United States. Like, I really want to focus on North Carolina, and I want to focus on Christmas lights. I want that to be the go-to, and I want people to remember it. Okay. So my company colors, matter of fact, our Christmas light contractor shirts, we modeled after my personal shirt. Okay. So it's red, green, and yellow. It's Christmas colors. It makes people happy. It makes people buy. And that's exactly what we did. So I registered NC Christmas Lights is a DBA, doing business as, underneath my cleaning service, which is a year-round cleaning service. So I have DIV cleaning service, DBA, NC Christmas Lights. I didn't form its own LLC. I don't think that is necessary, even at this point in my business, but I did register the name. The books are different. I can separate them out using, it's called classes. So you can separate out your expenses and your income through classes wherever you are recording that income, and you can have a separate CRM system. Legally, it's only one tax return that we're filing for that business. Now, that is important because Facebook and your website and Google, everybody is looking for social proof nowadays. That is very, 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 very important. Gone are the days where you can just create a Google listing and pick a random name, and you can just create 10 listings and get a bunch of leads coming in. Like, those days are long gone. All right. You want to do everything the legitimate way so that doesn't get shut down. Because guess what? If you don't have that LLC, or if you haven't gone to the Register of Deeds for your state and registered your business name and made sure that it's tied to you, if one of your competitors flags that Google listing, you will not get it back, right? So go ahead and do it the right way. You want to pick out a business name. You want to register it with the Register of Deeds. Go ahead and set up an LLC. If you don't have one, you can do that by yourself through like LegalZoom.com, or you can just go downtown and do it yourself if you've done it before. It takes 2 or 3 days to get an LLC or get that entity set up. It's not that big of a deal and cost a couple $100. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get insurance, right? That is a big, big, big deal, right? I've gone 15 years without having an accident where we had to get a workers' comp claim. And then in this past 6 months, okay, well, it's actually, we had one in November or no, one in December and then one in January, 2 workers' comp claims. So the last thing you want, and these were minor things on my end, but what if somebody seriously got hurt? 6 figures, and I don't care how many days, can go bye-bye real quick if you got to pay somebody's medical bills. Or if you damage a client's property and it's some special sculptor from, the turn of the century or something like that, has some famous blah, 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 and you go out there and you drop a ladder on it, or you don't wire up somebody's lights properly, or they plug lights into the end of your lights. It's not even you get blamed for an electrical issue, or there's so many things that could happen. I heard of a story of a guy that was working part-time doing power washing as a little side gig, just started out. On the first couple of houses that he washed, he fried the whole electrical system in the house. Like all the breakers, just fried everything, spraying SH all over the place, and it got into electrical components, and it fried the whole house. That cost $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, I'd imagine, to get all that fixed. You don't want that to be on you. So get your general liability and get your workers' comp insurance, right? You don't want to just wing this stuff. And it's going to set you up to play with the big boys, okay? I alluded to earlier that I'm working on a commercial bid where it's $50,000 in labor for 1 day's worth of install. Maybe it'll take 2, maintenance throughout the season, and takedown, right? Storage would be additional, and there's some other factors there. And then the actual materials themselves are spending a whole lot more buying the materials. Guess what? They're not going to work with a company that doesn't have an LLC, doesn't have workers' comp, doesn't have general liability. I got off the phone with I'm not going to say their name, but they are over in Charlotte area for power washing, working on a huge contract. If they get this contract, it's going to be a 6-figure washing contract, okay? Guess what? They had to provide the previous 3 years P&L statements because that company wants to make sure that they have the finances to do that job. They can pay their employees, they can pay for the materials, and they can wait 30, 60, 90 days to go ahead and give them that contract. So there's a lot of hoops that when you're playing with the big boys, year 2, year 3, that you're going to want to have all this stuff set up, right? So that is really important. Don't skip it. All right. Now, if you got any questions about how to set up your business or insurance or anything like that, feel free to reach out to us directly. But I want to go ahead and give each of these 10 steps a little bit of time. And if anybody listening has any additional questions, just put it in the comment section. I'll go back and I'll read it, and I'll go down those rabbit holes later on. Okay. The next one is go ahead and get your business out there on the interwebs. And what I mean by that is your Google listing and your Facebook listing. So your Google listing is going to be your number 1 source for leads, okay? Year 2, year 3. That's going to be your number 1 source of brand new leads if you do it the right way. I spent a little bit of time on my Google listing years ago and got hundreds of free leads last season. Didn't cost me a dime. I paid, $10,000 towards Facebook and closed, a marginally more than I spent worth of jobs. Okay. Google didn't cost me a dime. I didn't pay for Google ads. I just added views, updated my listing in terms of posting a couple of times a week. And I just did a few things here and there, and it kept me relevant. But what that also is going to do is it's going to give people a place to find you. If you got 1,000 competitors in your area, or if you have no competitors and you start doing all the the marketing and the service awareness, or if you have 1,000 competitors in your area that are putting up yard signs all over the place, and they go to Google and they type in Christmas light installer, okay, because they've seen 1,000 yard signs. They're like, oh, let me look into that. They go to Google. You want your company to be the one that pops up for everybody that's closest to you, right? All those leads that are close to you directly in your service area, you want your name to pop up. 1, 2, 3 is like bad, but you want to have that number one spot for a portion of your service area and absolute dominate there. You can do add a bunch of photos and tag them with the description with what you're doing. You don't need to put on there the type of house or anything like that. Google AI can analyze that on the photo, but you do want to put on there like, professional Christmas lights installed and, Headingham neighborhood or something to that extent. You can put that in the description of the photo. So you want to add a bunch of photos describing your services. You want to fully fill out all of your services, right? Or products being offered. So you want to put on there wreaths, and you want to put on there C9 bulbs, and you want to put on there and fully filled out all of that stuff for residential, all of it for commercial, all of it for municipalities and HOAs. And you want to go on there and fill out whatever somebody would search for in Google, whatever they would type in. You want to have a photo of it, and you want to have a product listed that you offer that service or that product. Whatever somebody would type into Google, you want to have that listed. Okay. And yes, you want to get a lot of reviews. In the beginning, you're going to be putting all of this stuff on there yourself. And then at the end of the year 2, year 3, hopefully your customers will start doing some of that and leaving you a lot of reviews. How many reviews do you need? You need one more than your competition. So if your competition has 1,000 reviews, you need 1,001. If your competition has 3 reviews, you need 35. All right. There's a magic number that happens with about 30 plus reviews, 35 reviews you're less likely to get your listing taken down. Now, don't go on there and ask your family members and your coworkers and your employees to leave reviews. You want legitimate reviews, legitimate paying customers, not, hey, I'll come for if you leave me a Google. No, legitimate reviews from legitimate customers. Don't hack the system. Don't pay for reviews. Don't make a Facebook. If a customer leaves you a bad review, don't make a Facebook post asking everybody to go on there and leave you a good review. Like, don't do it. You're lying to your customers. Google knows it, and your listing's going to get shut down and go, bye-bye hundreds of thousands of dollars because you can't get your Google listing back. All right. Fully filled that out. Now, right now, you should be posting maybe once a week, once a month, a post like not a review, not a picture, but a post. There's you can give an announcement is what it's called, or a post that you can go on there and give updates about your business throughout the year. And then in season, you probably want to do that once a day, probably starting October or whatever. You want to do that, or every other day at the, least. You want to do at least every other day. Ideally, every day you want to add a post, a unique post that lets people know the neighborhood you're in. Maybe you take a picture at nighttime with you and the house in the background, and you can just give a little updated post. So you're not adding the picture. You're actually putting that picture on a post and adding that and giving people updates and things like that. So that is something that you want to do, and do it religiously your first year. I'm telling you, if you do these things that I'm talking about for one solid year, you won't have to do 1/10 of it in the following years. Okay. You won't have to do 1/10 of it in the following years, but it'll be your number one source. Okay. So if you guys got any more questions about Google, I do think your Google listing is the number one most important thing that you need to have set for season 1 to set you up for success in season 2. And at the end of the year, it goes, I'll talk about this more on my 10th point. It goes a lot into getting reviews and stuff like that, is prepping you for the following year. Let's talk Facebook. You need to have your personal profile, and then you need to have a business page. All right. You want to start building following to your business page. But here's the thing. Nobody in the beginning is just going to find your business page. So you need to have content that is engaging on your page automatically post it out. When you set up a business page, and here's the other thing you can do with your personal Facebook profile, okay? You can set it to professional mode. I think you got to have maybe a couple thousand followers or at least 1,000 followers or something like that. But whatever you got to do, get that many followers on your personal profile so that you can set yourself up as an entrepreneur or a business listing on your personal one. And that gives you access to some features that you don't have with just a personal one individual Facebook profile. Okay. That way, that's something that I do. So when I post for like business stuff, I make it public so that all of my followers can see that. And then when I want to post personal stuff, I put it as friends only, or I can put it as another category. And then you can go in there and you can set up what you want people to see and yada, 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 yada. But you're going to have your personal page, and that's how you need to set up your personal page. On that public, everything that you post publicly, no more religious, no more political, and you can talk about money because it's business, but no religious posting and no political posting on the public posts that you make. If you want to do that stuff, just select the privacy is to friends only. Okay. That I'm telling you, that's going to help you tremendously. Matter of fact, I had somebody at my dog training club on Saturday tell me, "Oh my gosh, Donovan, I'm so proud of you. You've been cleaning." And I'm friends with, look guys, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I lean conservative when it comes to business and all of my, but I'm a big tree hugger. So all my environmental stuff, I'm pretty, I wouldn't say liberal, but I'm leaning to the left. But my business stuff is all, very conservative. But I have a lot of friends that are on both sides of the political spectrum. And they were like, "Oh my gosh, Donovan, I've been so proud of you. You haven't been posting any, this or that and the other." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm glad, blah, blah, blah." Well, that's because I don't post it publicly to everybody, right? So you don't need to change your personality or be fake or anything like that. But your business image does need to appeal to a broad audience. And the last thing you want to do is upset somebody when that wasn't your original intention. And they just take it the wrong way and they never give it a chance for you to meet you personally or anything like that. Okay. Now, your business Facebook page, you need to set it up and go ahead and schedule out posts for the next, I think you're allowed to do 30 or 60 days, something like that. Go ahead and schedule those out. Do one a week and schedule them out, and then go back and add it 2 a week, and then 3 a week, and then 4, keep adding content. But you want to schedule it out so it's set it and forget it. Because half the battle in the beginning is going to get people to go to your page and like your page. The other half of the battle is having relevant content on your page so that they stay and they actually engage and they buy and they contact you, right? So that a lot of people forget that. They spend so much time getting people to like their page that they don't put good content on there that's going to pop up in their news feed and stay relevant, or they put so much time on getting content on their page that they don't get people to actually go to the page and like it. So in the beginning, setting up your personal profile is going to help direct people to your business page. And then you're going to just set it and forget it. All the business content on your page. You don't even really need to interact a whole lot there, but you will want to do it to some extent. And then once you get a few thousand people on your business page, you can start doing paid posts and paid promotionals. And that's the point of the business page, is that you can actually look, once you get some followers on your business page, what you do is you look at the content that is performing well organically, and that's the content that you boost, right? I just made a 10-second video the other week, and it's reached organically 25,000 individual people. 25,000 individual people, organic outreach. Guess what? That's going to be a piece of content that I duplicate that style and that I boost that content to generate a following, right? But I'm not going to, that funny meme that 3 of my friends, and one of them was my mom, just click the laughing emoji or whatever. I'm not going to spend any money boosting that post because that's just going to be a waste of money. All right. There's other listings that you can get. You can get Nextdoor, Home Advisor, Angie, whatever you want to do, go for it. But the 2 big ones are Google and Facebook. All right. Now, marketing material. Fred could have used that tip. Yeah, Fred got booted off. He goes to Facebook jail every now and again, but he's cleaned up his act just like I have. All right. I'm talking too much. I'm only on number 2, and I got 30 minutes left. All right. Marketing material. Here is the best thing the best piece of advice if you don't have a lot of money to spend on a brand. Go to wherever you're going. You've already picked out your business name and you've registered it. So now go to wherever you're going to host your website. If you're going to do it yourself, like GoDaddy or whatever you want else, go there and pick out a template and then look on that template, like a pre-made template. Look on there for what colors are on that template and what fonts are on that template. And ta-da, there's your cheap brand. Okay. So that's the way to do it. You just buy the domain. And that's another thing when you're registering your business, make sure that domain's available. Right. But, you buy the domain and then you're going to host it and you're going to build a website. Look at the templates for that website builder and find a template that you like. Ta-da, there are your company colors. There's the colors that you use to put on your logo. And then there's the font that you're going to use on all of your marketing materials. So everything is concise and congruent. And you're welcome. I just saved you $1,500 minimum for a cheap branding package. But that's a little hack right there that you can, almost for free, you can get a congruent brand. And then once you have 10, 20 grand that you can drop, you can rebrand a couple years later if that's something that you want to do. But for your first, year one, you don't need to do all that. Just wherever you're hosting the website, pick out a website template that you like and use those colors and use the font. You're going to want to get yard signs. Yard signs is going to be the number one way of drumming up business directly to you. On that yard sign, I used to put my email address or the website. I used to put my website on the yard sign because I didn't have a whole lot of, I didn't have the ability to answer a whole lot of phone calls. We would get 100+ leads a day and we couldn't even answer the phone that often. So I would just put my website on there. And I would have a very nice yard sign that had like a logo and just a website on it, but I have a nice logo and it was like a burgundy background, not this like bright red holiday like one. It was like a rich burgundy background with a nice logo and it said like Christmas light installs and a website. And so that's a sign that I would leave at a completed job. It didn't look tacky. It didn't, it was very, it was aesthetically pleasing. Clients wouldn't just throw it away right away. And even some of my signs, I actually used to drill holes in them and put lights around it. And so it made it look up, it made it light up very nice. And then so that's what I call a branded sign. And then I have a bandit sign. Bandit sign just says like, we hang Christmas lights or we install lights or Christmas light installer, whatever. Get to the point with big lettering and then a phone number. Now, what I will tell you is you need to get a VoIP phone. You should have that all ready for your business number that you're putting on your Google listing, Facebook listing, and stuff like that. Don't just put your cell phone number on there because you're going to get a million phone calls at 11 o'clock at night. But you want to get a VoIP number that accepts pictures and text messaging, right? So you want your clients to be able to do that. And then on your yard signs, you want to get another number. It's going to cost you $5 a month or something like that. That's just for your yard signs. So you'll be able to see how effective that your yard signs are. And also, if you just put on there, Christmas light installers, like Christmas light installer, and then a big phone number, and it's a 18 by 24 inch sign, and it's a one color sign, and you put those out all over town, the public works people are not going to be able to track down your business because it's a VoIP number. There's nothing tying it directly to your business. They got to jump through 2 or 3 hoops to find your business, and I'll send you that certified letter saying, hey, if you don't quit doing this, we're going to find you. So that's something that you want to do for your yard signs. You want to have flyers. When you complete a job, you want to put flyers or door hangers, whatever you want to do it, magnetic business cards, something to do a 5 around or a 10 around or anything like that. I know some people do the clip flyers and they drive around, they toss them out the window. In all honesty, I don't do it. I tried it like for 2 weeks with my cleaning business, and I got like 4 bad, like 1-star reviews on Google. And I'm like, I'm not doing this. I'm not going to ruin my reputation. I don't care how many jobs I get. My Google is my #1 source of new leads. So it's not worth it getting 1-star reviews for throwing trash anywhere. But when I complete a job, they see the house, they see my truck with signage on the truck. They see my guys wearing shirts that was looking nice and we're clean cut and the lights look beautiful and there's a yard sign and then they have a door hanger. And then when I come back, every time a touch up, I come back 5 or 10 around again. And then every time I do go back and take photos, I do it again. So I'm hitting all these clients and I'm touching these clients with inexpensive flyers. Now, you can pay for EDDM or do like a radius blast. You can do dope marketing where you plug in that address. Yeah, it's great. What Brian Richardson said, it's great, but you will get bad reviews. Look, man, I listened to your boy. I tried it. I tried the Pat Clark method. I tried, but I couldn't do it. I can't do clip flyers. I actually like magnetic business cards. The best place that I found cards is Vistaprint. They have these 40% on 50% throughout the year. Best, cheapest, inexpensive way that I found to get magnetic business cards. So my 5 around, I just go to the magnetic mailbox, and here's how you do it. If you're going to put something on the, you do not ever want to put something in the mailbox. Don't hang it on the flag. Technically, you're not supposed to put anything on the mailbox or on the post. Now, I do, right? But what I do is I take my clip flyer and I actually wedge it between the back of the mailbox if I'm doing a clip flyer. And the clip kind of like helps hold it there and it gives it something so they don't just immediately throw away. Or if I'm doing a magnetic business card, okay, cool. Saying this is the mailbox and the driveway's right here. I'm going to put it on the back side drive. I'm going to put it on the back of the mailbox. Here's where the lid, don't put it where the mail person can just reach it and take it down or it's in their way. Quite honestly, they don't really care. But if it slows them down, if you put it on that little hook or you put it on the flag and it slows them down and they got to do more work, they're going to call you and they're going to but you put it on the back of the mailbox that they have to get out of their truck every stop to reach it. They're not going to do it. Quite frankly, they don't care. If it's a plastic mailbox, just set it on the top, right? Now, my flyers is a business card. And my business card is just a picture of a house with we install Christmas lights and a phone number or a website or something like that, right? If you want to get a phone number on that. So when people call, you can track to see how many leads you've gotten from Google, how many you get from Facebook, how many you get from, your yard sign, so you could get fancy if you want to do all that. I don't do all that. In all honesty, I just have a VoIP number and everything goes there. But if you're trying to track to see what works, then you can put a different number on everything. We just have a custom field in our CRM in the profile that they fill out how they heard about us if they submit it online, or our CSR asks them, how did you hear about us? The next thing is vehicle branding. So if you got the money, if you got a couple $1,000 or at least put lettering on it. If you don't have any of that, put a, if you have a ladder rack, get a banner. I did that my first year on the ladder rack on the side, this is the truck. Well, on the side where the ladder rack is above the bed of the truck, I just got a banner that fit perfectly on my ladder rack. And I just tied that up for the season. So I didn't rewrap a vehicle or anything like that. If you already are doing like power washing or anything like that, just don't need to rewrap a vehicle just for the Christmas season. Just put up a banner right above the bed. Wherever the ladder rack is, that'll look great. But do something cool. Nothing else. Buy some magnetic sockets for your C9 bulbs or C7 bulb, and put card. Don't do blue or flashing. Or you can get some light clip strips. If you need any materials, go to lights4.com. But if nothing else, put some lights up on your truck in a banner. That'll cost you $100, and I guarantee you'll get a ton of attention. You go driving down the road and you got Christmas lights all over your truck at night. Everybody's going to love it. They're going to take pictures. They're going to video you. And that's just a fun thing that you can do. Okay. Organic outreach. A lot of the things that I've talked about so far are organic. It's very little money and it's huge effect. My thing, here's how I want you to think about organic. You know what? My wife made me a sign. Give me 1 second. I need to put it up in the background. Okay. So this is one of my favorite sayings right here. Okay. Sales should be, there we go. Sales should be organic, almost serendipitous outgrowth of quality and service. So my wife made this for my birthday one day. It's a quote from one of my favorite entrepreneurs, Joel Salatin. He's a farmer, and he just has really great business advice. But the way that I look at it is organic outreach is like word of mouth. That's the best form of advertising. Spam is the worst. So anything that you can do, like when you make a Facebook post, if you don't just put on there, hey, come pay me to put up Christmas lights, right? We did this job and that job or whatever. Like say, hey, I own NC Christmas lights and we're adopting the highway on this road this Saturday. If anybody would like to join us, it's just me and my wife out here right now. We're a small business, but it's something that we want to positively impact the community. You do something like that and share it. Holy cow, you will have much better results. And when you do organic outreach and organic post and naturally reaching out to people, don't just sell them something. Let them know who you are. Who you are as an individual. Let them know who you are as a company. Let them know what positive impact on the community and that your business more than just a combination of products and services. That should be organic outreach. And the most, when I first got started, is I said, hey, I'm a brand new business. We're whatever. I'm adding this service. I forget my exact wording, but it's like, we have a new logo for our business. Can which ones do you guys like? Or if you don't like it, what do you think we should change? Leave me a comment in local groups, right? And I shared that post out there, and I'm telling you, I had 50,000 plus interactions, and people reached and all. I mean, all that other 50,000 impression, blah blah. Just it kickstarted my organic outreach and my Facebook page. When that, and then people click on it, you share that from your business page, and people go back to business page and they see months worth of posts on there and funny stuff and tips and tricks on how to make your house look beautiful and jobs that you've closed. And when you make Mrs. Jones, make a little short video. Yeah, hey, we made a mistake. There was one light bulb 9 o'clock at night, fixing it myself, and the client is so thrilled and blah. And you do that, and you show a picture of the house, and you share that video. Things like that. You're going to get a lot of traction. Okay, paid advertising. Okay, so Brian is given good. How do I display this? I think I just click on it. Okay, yeah, there we go. All right, so yeah, legally nothing can touch the mailbox. That's a really good point. And then here's one that I'll leave up for just disclaimer, not everyone will make 6 figures in 5 weeks. I love you guys. So paid advertising is something that you're going to want to try a bit of everything and see what's working. You want at least a 3 ROI. 5 is, ideal, and 10x is like, oh my gosh, every penny that you have in savings, you need to dump into it, right? But I would say I would heavily consider at the end of the year anything that didn't give you a 3 to 5x ROI, eliminate that or cap it. So okay, well, and here's why I would still is if your number one lead source, it's either going to do two things, one of two things. It's either going to create demand or it's going to capture existing demand. So what I mean by that is, and that's why I said Facebook and Google. On Facebook, you're going to create demand. People are going to be scrolling at 10, 11 o'clock at night and be like, oh my gosh, that house looks beautiful. I didn't know I could pay somebody to hang up Christmas lights. Yeah, let me check out their company. Let me go to their website and let me send in a request, right? That's going to create demand. Google, somebody already has to be searching for it. You're trying to capture demand. So whatever method you have that gets you the most leads, you're definitely going to want to do a few on the other to capture it or demand to kind of look at it two different ways, right? But that's where you need to track it. I call it throwing spaghetti on the wall and see what sticks. So every paid method you do, you want to track it. You want to know how many people called, how many people did you pre-qualify and they didn't make the cut? How many of those did you quote that did not convert? How many did convert, right? And then what is your average ticket for the ones that converted? So you're going to want to know all those different numbers to see what's taking up the most time, what's getting you the most leads, what's getting you the highest ticket. And that's something that you want to do with your paid advertising. Google ads, Facebook ads are the number one ways. You can pay people on the organic stuff. I call it organic or whatever. But if yard signs are really working real well for you, the next year, consider paying somebody to put out yard signs, right? Pay them $5 a sign or something like that. Track it with Company Cam or map it out. Like here are the 100 areas that you always want there to be a yard sign. You're going to pay a guy to go out there and you're going to pay him $2 if the sign's still there. You're going to pay him $5 if he has to get out and put a new sign out. He takes a picture of it every time. He geotags it on Company Cam or another app. And you're going to spend a couple $1,000s paying him to put out signs or her to put out signs. Those are things that you can convert some organic or some free marketing sources to paid marketing sources once you grow when it comes to year 2, year 3. All right. I got 15 minutes. I got to talk fast. All right. Sorry if I'm cutting any of these last topics short, but I have a tendency to ramble and I do apologize. I'll give another plug, right? About topic number 6 is sell and close a job. All right. I'm going to be in Kentucky with Brian Richardson here in a week and a half. You can go to CLC Light Training and go ahead and sign up for that training. It's going to be a small training. It's going to be an intimate training. Quite honestly, we're just trying to build up some content for our online platform that we're going to release that content later on this year. So we're having a lot of trainings. We're keeping them small until the huge convention. That'll be a big one. And then our September trainings will be large trainings. But all of our summer trainings are going to be small, intimate trainings. And you can get a lot of information. On this one with Brian Richardson, we're focusing on the sales process. We're going to go over it with power washing because it's relevant to some folks right now. And we're going to go over it for Christmas lights and permanent lighting. Day 2 is all about permanent lighting. And we have a small commercial property that we're actually going to go on site and install a permanent lighting, the Minlian system on a commercial job. And that's in Kentucky. To get more information, go to clclighttraining.com or shoot me a message. I'm happy to respond to that. But step 6 is like sell and close a job. For this, you need to understand how to design a quote, right? So quoting falls in there and your salesmanship falls into this. You need to answer your phone. You need to get that quote out within 24 hours, or you need to meet them in person, and you need to get that quote to them within 48 hours is a long time away when it comes to Christmas light season. It's very much an emotional buy. It's an emotional experience. You're not tapping into people's logic. There's no logic. It's a necessity. People don't need Christmas lights or their home's going to be damaged, gutter cleaning. It's an emotional buy. It's something that you got to give a good design that is aesthetically pleasing. You got to have some salesmanship and some customer service. Why would they spend thousands of dollars to pay you to put up $1,000 or a couple $100 worth of lights? So that salesmanship and that customer service is a big part of the sales process and selling your first job. If you need help with design, you can check out some of our other videos. We have quite a few videos on it on our YouTube channel. Just look for Christmas Light Contractors on YouTube, and you go to our channel and you can search for design ideas, and we have some videos up there. Also, if you're watching this later on in the year, our online training platform, you can get some information there. You get more information there. Selling the job. Okay, let's talk about price. When it comes to outlining the roof line with C9 bulbs, outlining the roof line, I'm okay your first few jobs being competitively priced. You need to get your work out there and you need to start getting referrals. You need to get some happy customers. Your closing ratio is going to be 50 to 70%, 80% from referrals. From Facebook, might be like 5%. Okay. So that information right there tells me that year one, you need to get jobs sold. You need to have jobs installed that earlier the following year and get a lot of referrals. That is going to be your number one or number two behind Google lead source. Might be number three if you get a lot from yard signs. But early on in the year, when you're watching the Facebook groups and you see me or Fred being like, yeah, we sold, $10,000 worth of jobs today, and it's September, or the end of July, or it's September, or the beginning of, or it's early in the season, and you're like getting discouraged because your phone hasn't even rung one time. All of those leads came from referrals. Okay. We're not spending money on Google or Facebook or whatever. Year two, and especially year three, your business is really going to take off in terms of leads year three. And those are going to be referrals. So, selling that first job and closing that first job, do whatever it takes to get some jobs sold, to get your name out there in the market. And so I'm okay with you selling a job for $4, $5, $6 a foot on your first. And then as you get busy, increase the pricing. That's something that I do. So pricing should kind of reflect the schedule. If it's December 10th or 15th, you can go ahead and reduce your pricing and sell add-ons, or follow up with people who didn't say, hey, we're all caught up. I'm willing to cut you a deal if you want the lights up for, a week or two before Christmas. Okay. Install a job. My number one piece of advice is, you need to do a practice job. So you can either come to some in-person training, or you can buy a starter kit. So number 8 is install a job. You don't want to discover that you're having a hard time understanding the flow of electricity at your very first job when your client is, looking at you. I've gone to some permanent light jobs, and it's like, it was the first job that client did, or that installer did. And the client was right there, and they hop on the app. And quite honestly, the last job that I installed, there was a bunch of app updates on permanent lighting. And I didn't understand the app it had been updated since the last time I looked at it. And I was looking at it on iPhone, and now the new Android version came out, whatever. So I was at that job site, and that customer's a tech savvy customer, and she hops on there and she starts pushing all these buttons, and she's logging on at the same time I'm trying to set it up. And it was just a bad experience because I didn't have that practical know-how. I didn't show up being an expert on that permanent light job. And I'm telling you, you feel smaller, you feel lower than the belly of a pregnant ant, okay? Like, you feel low when a customer doesn't think that you're an expert, because you're not. You're underprepared. So my advice there is get a starter pack. You can get even 100-foot or a 15-inch, 120-foot, whatever, 100-bulb starter pack. Put it up on your own home. You can go to lightsforsale.com for like less than $200-$300. You can get a starter pack for 100 bulbs. Put them up at your own house. Play around with it. Buy a few mini light sets. Get it all wired up. And that's good enough for your first couple of basic jobs. Learn how to do it with hands-on. And you also, season one, let's say that you don't hit $100,000 in season one. You just want to get started this year. Install some jobs this year. And maybe your year two is going to be your first real season that you're aiming for $100,000. Okay. But go ahead and dip your toes in the sand, get a little bit of experience. And what you can also do is go to YouTube. There's Install Lights Like a Pro video series on Christmas Light Contractors YouTube. It's like 10, 12 videos. It goes step by step on how to install all the temporary lighting. So you can go on there. But my advice to you is just get the job installed, that practice run, before you show up at your first real job. You want to discover what services you can easily offer to your clients and what ones that you're going to hold off on. All right. Number 8, hiring first employees. So this is going to depend a little bit on your skill set and your personality. You need to do a couple of things. One, you need to answer the phone, right? Every time a phone call comes in, or every time a lead comes in that you want to send a quote out to them, you need to do that within 24 hours every single time. So if you're getting overwhelmed, then hire somebody, a CSR. You can hire a virtual CSR. You can hire a virtual assistant to do that. But that might be your first employee is actually like a CSR or a VA, because you're out on the truck installing. Look, if you're afraid of heights, your first hire might need to be a helper, like a part-time roofer or a firefighter or something like that. Somebody who's okay working on ladders or working off a roof. So your first hire is either going to be office, or in the field. And that really depends upon you. My advice to you when you're hiring somebody is don't go the friends and family route. If you're actually going to do 100 grand, your person that you hire needs to be committed at a level that impresses or / intimidates you. They're going to want that business to succeed, no matter if it's 5 o'clock and you're only halfway through the job and they're complaining that they're not home on time or they're a little late to dinner or something like that. Somebody who is committed at a high level, whatever position you're hiring for, skill set, so long as they're halfway competent. But you cannot train commitment. You cannot buy commitment. You cannot pay for commitment. Okay? Your pay needs to be adequate to very good. I pay my people very good, right? But the commitment level is nothing that you can compensate something to increase their commitment. So when I'm looking to hire, especially very first hire, huge Trump impression needs to be huge. Yeah, that was a horrible impression. Anyway, they need to have a huge level of commitment. Okay. And once you get them trained for that position and they have a high level of commitment, you can check that box and you don't have to worry about them again. All right. Work on efficiencies. So this is where you're going to learn to prep your C9 bulbs in advance. You're going to get very good at pre-qualifying every lead that comes in. So that way people who only think that they're going to be spending $300, you can quickly within a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, let them know in a professional manner that you're $1,500, $2,500 and that you're not going to be able to service them, right? Efficiencies in every part of your business is what's going to get you to 100 grand and be profitable at 100 grand. The last thing I want you to do is make 100 grand and you spent 95. That is a complete failure, right? You don't want to, because here's what's happened. If you spent 90 grand to get to 100, then when you get to $1 million, you're going to be spending $950,000, right? There's no point on scaling your business. As you scale, that's another quote by Joel Salatin, is that your business should be able to scale up profitably and scale down profitably. Meaning you should be able to have 1 crew or you should have 10 crews and your business is profitable. It's not like you need to have 3 crews on the road every day hitting $10,000 a day or you're going to lose money, right? That's a non-sustainable business model. And so your first year, that might not be your natural instinct is to work efficiently. For me, it is. Everything that I do, I'm trying to be as efficient as possible. I'm talking like I only hire guys that are about 6 foot tall because that way they can reach up and get the ladder off the truck versus going to the back of the truck, hopping on the tailgate and pulling it off the back of the truck. Because reaching up and pulling it off the top of the truck takes 10 seconds. Whereas it takes 2-3 minutes to pull it off the back of the truck if you're, only 5.5 feet tall. Like little things like that are things that I think about during my hiring process. And that is as simple as, well, I could save 1 minute every time we got to take the ladder off the truck by hiring tall people. Little things like that is what just my natural, the way that my brain. But if that is not your natural inclination, then at the end of the year, I want you to pause and think about, well, here's what I want you to do. I want you to time track everything throughout the year. Like when hit the timer, when you pull up in the driveway to the first light bulb that you clip onto the roof, how long did that take? For me and my guys, it's less than 5 minutes, like less than 5 minutes between that first bulb's clipped on the roof. In all honesty, most of the time, it's about 45 seconds. 45 seconds, and we're actually starting to clip lights onto the roof, okay? We work that efficiently. But I've seen a lot of guys that they're 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes before they actually get to work and get started working. And that's because maybe they're by themselves. Maybe they take a long time to put out yard signs and they do the advertising first and they talk to the client for 10 minutes and they, they forgot this and they forgot that and setting up the ladder and stringing out the lights. It takes them 30 minutes to get going at the job site and I'm getting going in 30 seconds. Like there's a big difference there on how profitable that crew is going to be if at every job they're wasting 30 minutes before they're clipping lights onto the house? So you're either going to naturally work efficiently, or at the end of the year, I want you to look at all of your times that you've tracked. How long were you talking on the phone with a client that booked versus how long did you talk on the phone with the client that didn't book? How long does it take to get that light set up? How long to install a 2,000 square foot house? How long to install 100 feet of lights? How long to install 100 feet of lights on a house that's worth $1 million versus one that's worth 100 grand? Like, there's a difference there that affects your pricing and how efficiently you're going to be working and how much money that crew can do for the day. There's a lot of things that you can track. They're called time and motion studies. You need to do that so that you know how to bid very well year two, going into year two. All right. And my final, I know I've rushed through these last five, but I want to spend a little bit of time. I got about 5 minutes left. The final thing that I wanted you to think about from day one, okay? This is not a side gig. This is Christmas lights, installing Christmas lights, adding this service to your business is all right. They might turn this part into a sound clip because I'm very passionate about it. Installing Christmas lights and adding a Christmas light, professional Christmas light installation service to your company could literally change the course of your life. I know that sounds a little cliche, but I will be forever grateful for Fred Zimmerman, who's a co-owner. He's my partner, 50% partner, not only in the business Christmas light contractors, but in friend and in life. That I just greatly appreciate this man, because he introduced me to the opportunity of hanging Christmas lights and put me down a path of premium pricing and partnered up with me with Christmas light contractors. Literally, guys, it changed the course of my life. And that's why I'm so passionate about it. And I will put in days to help people have that same result in their life. And I want you guys to, when you're talking to a customer, I want you the same level of passion. I was thinking, this is a long-term opportunity that could change the course of your life if it's properly applied and it's a good fit for you. Okay. You could go from making 100 grand a year to having 100 grand in the bank. You could go from making 7 figures a year to having 7 figures in the bank. I am not lying, and I will go over and I will film in depth if this job closes, $50,000 for labor for 1 day's worth of work. I remember my first few years cleaning gutters and cleaning windows in my DIV cleaning service. I didn't grand an entire year. And now Christmas Lights has brought an where I'm bidding on a 6 contract that the labor is 50 grand for 1 day's worth of installs. Okay. This is a life-changing opportunity. There are people in third world countries that won't see $50,000 in their entire lifetime. And you have the opportunity to make that in 1 day. Or I know I need to talk about 6 figures in 5 weeks. Okay. But you have the opportunity, month to 2 months, you can bring in 6 figures worth of revenue. And what would that mean? Let's say if you only accomplish half of that. Okay. Let's say you made 50 grand in a month. How would that change your life? Okay. How cool would that be to have right before Christmas time, a big fat bonus that you could maybe get, your wife an upgraded ring, maybe book a family vacation at the end of the year and block off some time during the summer that you guys could finally go on that vacation that you've been dreaming about for 5 years or 10 years. Okay. And so I want you guys to approach that with that level of passion. And this is why I bring it. I've dropped all of that into step number 10, is that everything that you're doing, I want you to think about next year. I want you to think about next season. When you are picking up the phone for that client and you are putting in a 10-hour day, 12-hour day, 15-hour day, and returning all of those emails and all those phone calls and all those text messages. And the reason why you're doing that is because that client is going to be huge. It's going to be an invaluable resource for next year. Okay. When you're installing that job, you're going to do it perfectly because you want long-term business. They're paying you $2,000, $3,000, $3,000 to put lights up this year. But what if they were a client for the next 10, 15 years and they added on every year? And that one client becomes worth 6 figures. Okay. It's that important, guys. Here's the thing. I think about my capacity, and I, I know thyself. Okay. I know how many quotes that my CSRs can put out. I know how many jobs that my guys can install. I know how many jobs we can fit on the schedule. And what I do is I increase my pricing and I simplify my designs as my schedule gets busier. That way we're always sending out quotes to everybody who asks, but we're doing simpler designs that my guys can install quicker. And what I do is I let clients know. I tell them the reason. Hey, not that, hey, we're too busy to install your lights. That's not customer service. We say, hey, I want you to know a little bit about my company. Everything that we do is professional grade and it's custom fitted to your home. Okay. Those two things, quite honestly, I'm at my capacity for what I pre-ordered from the factories. I order my materials to specific specifications from the factory, the highest quality standard. I can't just go to a big box store and put up junk lights on your house. I won't do it. But what I do have enough of, so I'm out of wreaths, I'm out of mini lights, so I can't do bushes or wreaths right now, but I have plenty of roof line and your gutter line. Make your home look like a Hallmark movie. And what we can do when I take down the lights, I'm going to call you and we're going to finalize your design for next year. We're going to start that process in January, and I'm going to make sure that I order enough materials to make your job perfect next year. We'll be able to finalize that design in January right after takedown. And I will be able to, I promise you, I'll be able to deliver everything that you've ever dreamed about for next year. But this year, I don't want to under deliver. And here's the thing. I'm waiting on some materials coming in. Okay. So sometimes I'll get a late shipment, but I'm waiting on them. I can't promise you that I'll be able to deliver right now. I can deliver on the roof line. I'll reach out to you in December if I can do more. So guess what? If I get caught up on all my install jobs, I call that customer back and say, hey, I have wreaths. I have mini lights. I can put more lights up your house. I got another reindeer family I can put on your lawn, right? I do upsells on the 10th to 15th to 20th of December. I don't do those when my schedule's fully booked up. I'm just going for what my guys can install efficiently. The previous step was work efficiently. We can efficiently put up roof lines. So that's what I'm going to sell. I'm going to service them at the highest level to the extent that I can deliver this year. But I'm already planting seeds for next year. We can do more. So then when I go and I take down the lights, all my customers know I'm going to ask them to book for next year in January. So everything that I'm doing is building from season to season. And I get 30% of my clients signed up in January through July pre-season for the following season. I know guys right now that haven't called their customer since they took down the lights. Okay. They haven't even reached back out to them. Well, guess what? If that customer forgets your business name because your branding isn't on point, you don't have your business registered with the state that you work in, and your Google profile gets shut down, you don't do all those previous steps I talked about, well, guess who? What? They're calling their competition because they love the service, but you weren't planning for next year, right? And so you did all that work for a one-time sale, and you've lost your family's future, right? So, guys, with that, I am at an hour. I don't see a ton of questions in the comment section. If they, I do apologize, but where you can get some more information, all right, where some more valuable resources for you is Lights for Sale. It's the number 4 sale.com is you can go there and get professional grade lights. You can get and you can temporary lighting right now. Permanent lights is in. A lot of guys making a lot of money. Another resource is vibrantnights.com. That start a permanent lighting business. You can actually get a territory and you can get a discount on products. You can get all the access to a website and marketing material and customer support and everything else that you need to start a business through vibrantnights.com. Here's the other cool thing is that we actually market for you and give you commercial leads. So that's part of being a member as well. You do need to qualify to be part of that. So reach out to Tyler or send an inquiry to vibrantnights.com and you can submit your application and we'll get back to you within a few days. The next thing is if you want to come to an in-person training, CLC light training, okay? Go there, book one that read the description. We have different trainings throughout the country, throughout the year that we're going to be focusing on different topics. And yeah, you can do an in-person training. It's very affordable. but it's not cheap. Okay. It is affordable for the value you're getting, but it's not cheap. Later on in the year, we will have online training that we release. But here's something real cool. I'm going to jump the gun for everybody that's put up with my hour and 5 minutes of monologuing. Is that we're going to do some really cool stuff at the huge convention this year. So if you're already planning to come to the huge convention, be tuned. Stay tuned. We're going to have some big announcements come out over the next couple of weeks. Cool things that we're doing at the huge convention this year. So with that, guys, God bless. Take care. We will see you in the next video. If you have any questions, just message them to me directly. If I missed any of the questions, I tried to skim them, but I'm out of time. I'm over an hour. I want to respect your time. We'll see you next week on the lives, and we'll see you in the group. Shoot me a message if you got any questions or any input. See you in Kentucky at the huge convention. God bless.